Ugh, God, like, can't deal with Andrew and Mike anymore.
I don't want to be here.
Well, why not?
I hate working for this TV station.
Me too.
Men.
Like, so annoying. It's such like a masculine.
So much masculine energy.
Yeah, and
it's
the
disgusting.
the
I just want to
testosterone.
punch everyone in the face.
Yeah, same. Like, okay, because I'm famous and I'm on TV now. Like, I could say this. Like, the amount of sports talks that happens here is very annoying.
Why is eBoard always canceled for football games?
I don't know why. The Emmys, did it get canceled?
Emmys didn't get canceled.
No.
That's correct.
Yeah, it's a problem.
It's ridiculous.
Very bad. And I was like, I really
leadership.
want to see Kate McKinnon win that Emmy. And she did, but I missed it.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
This show is ridiculous.
And you know who's also ridiculous?
Ew.
Mike.
Mike is so tall.
He's so tall. Like,
That's not right.
Like, half the time I'm worried he's going to hit his head on, like, the freaking, like, door frame.
You know he's doing something to be that tall.
Yeah, he's...
That's not right.
Steroids.
Steroids. Mike
Yeah.
Falco's on steroids.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, Mike's on steroids.
And usually, just I heard it, so in order for him to fall asleep, he gets, like, horse tranquilizer. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I did. It's so embarrassing
I
for
know,
him.
right? It's funny because he looks like a giraffe, but he gets horse tranquilizer.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have Tic Tacs?
No, but let's go do our show.
Okay.
Welcome to District Debrief. I'm your host, Devon Morales, and a lot has been happening in the past few weeks. Let's debrief the situations. Norwegian Prime Minister Erna Solberg was caught playing Pokemon Go in Parliament on Tuesday. I get that Parliament can be boring, but try and do something a little less obvious. What's wrong with, Words with Friends? Speaking of apps, we all know about Uber and the mind-blowingness that is Uber Eats. We have 2-day shipping from Amazon, and you can mobile order to cut the line at Starbucks. But now CBS has reported that Walmart is working on self-driving shopping carts that customers can hail from an app. That's it! We have officially turned into the people from WALL-E! This week, at your own Foggy Bottom Whole Foods, a student tried to order a key lime pie for her friend's birthday. When the Whole Foods employee asked her what she would like written on the cake, the student replied, "Happy birthday, Jake." After paying with the G World, she returned 2 days later to this. As many of you know, Hurricane Matthew has caused a lot of devastation in Haiti, the Bahamas, and even Florida. We would like to offer our deepest thoughts and concerns to everyone affected by the storm. One question, though. Who did decide to go with Matt? Like, Matt just isn't a name that is going to be taken seriously. Everyone is named Matt. You probably know like 4 or 5 Matts. Matt's, that guy that sits in the second row in your calc class. He's got a B. He raises his hands once or twice. It's just Matt. But now he's a Category 4 hurricane? Okay. Bloomberg reported that a joint marijuana product by Snoop Dogg and a Canadian-based Canopy Growth Corp called Leafs by Snoop hit the market this month. It has quickly caused the company's stock to get, really high. This week, California's senatorial candidates Kamala Harris and Loretta Sanchez had their first and only debate. During the closing remarks, this happened.
And a half, Ms. Harris.
So there's a clear difference between the candidates in this race.
There definitely is.
The New York Times reported on Saturday that Donald Trump may have been legally avoiding paying federal income tax for 18 years. He joins the likes of, just about every group of people he's ever insulted, because those who qualify for reduced or no income tax include the legally blind, those who depend on someone else for income, individuals dependent on welfare and Social Security, disabled veterans, and the elderly, among others. Trump may even be lumped into the category of people who believe in that Chinese invented very expensive global warming BS, as tax exemptions are provided for those who purchase an electric or fuel alternative vehicle. Trump has been quoted as saying, "The beauty of me is that I'm very rich." Now, how can someone who is very rich manage to avoid paying income tax? The answer is still unclear. Luckily, despite his 18-year absence from the tax-paying world, his campaign insists that Mr. Trump knows the tax code far better than anyone who has ever run for president, and he's the only one that knows how to fix it. Okay, with that, we'll take a break. Stay tuned.
Raise high. This isn't just our battle cry. It's our call, our challenge. Because when you are called to Washington, you are called to higher expectations, to a higher standard. We are called here to advance knowledge, to serve society, to change the world. This is the George Washington University, and what we make is history. So stand up, be bold, take risks, press on, push harder, raise high.
Welcome back. I want to speak to my millennials about this election. We'll be participating in one of the most important elections this nation, the world has ever seen. I know many of us have been focused on a lot of domestic issues that plague our nation, which is very important to focus on. The economy, racial tension, income inequality, education, the works. And we all have disagreements on how to fix these problems, but we have the ability to openly express our ideas because of our right to free speech. Which allows me to say that I hate beefsteak. Someone had to say it. But in all seriousness, we'll be voting for two drastically different candidates who have a tremendous impact at home and abroad. I know many of you are like, but we have 4 candidates because of Gary Johnson and Jill Stein. I'm voting for one of them because I don't like Crooked Hillary or the Donald. Yay! Good for you. Free speech. You can say that, but the only problem is that you will be single-handedly responsible for one of the greatest disasters the world will ever experience. Yes, I'm being hella extra because this is scary serious. Donald Trump will be the greatest threat to humanity. We're not talking about politics now. I'm not talking about the Republican Party. I'm talking about the man. The Republican Party could have had a wonderful nominee who would have kept the legitimacy of the United States secured and our allies reassured. I mean, not him for obvious reasons, but someone else definitely. If Donald Trump were to win this November, he could delegitimize the United States government. Delegitimize? Do you know what that means? That's not like double posting on Instagram or accidentally responding to your ex-boyfriend's Snapchat story or your parents confronting you about sharing the HBO Go account with your friends. None of that is important. Delegitimizing means that our government will not be taken seriously or trusted because of who is at the helm of the executive branch. Delegitimizing the United States will cause a domino effect with the global markets and our economy that is still struggling to dig itself out from the Great Recession. And that is only one piece of this turd cake we'll serve ourselves if Trump wins. Because Donald Trump has no foreign policy experience whatsoever, which at the end of the day is a problem because he would be directly in charge of foreign diplomacy, and as commander-in-chief, he can execute military actions to protect American interests. And Congress will have no control over his military actions, which is scary because he has repeatedly suggested that he will rethink our allegiance to NATO. And my millennials, NATO? No, it's not some kind of acronym for a new show on Netflix. It's the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, which deters threats from aggressive nations. It's one of the many reasons why this Cold War with the Soviet Union remained, cold. And Trump has questioned this allegiance to NATO because some members don't pay up their fair share, which is true. Some don't pay as much as we do, but the fundamental issue is that his insinuation will give Russia's Vladimir Putin a chance to possibly attack or invade a NATO member, which is frightening because U.S.-Russia relations have been getting tense lately. And I know some of my diehard Bernie bros want campaign finance reform, which will be difficult to achieve if we don't have a nation left to reform. This is no way an endorsement of Hillary Clinton, but I beg of you, please don't waste your vote on someone that can't win. A third-party candidate cannot win. And it takes away votes from other candidates. That's just how math works. I know I'm not good at math. This has never been formally established, but I felt it needed to be said. So please, place the country and the world ahead of your weird, selfish millennial thoughts. Plus, as trendy as it seems, it's actually not that cool to, not know what Aleppo is or get arrested while running for president. We'll be right back. Thanks for tuning back to the show. Earlier this week, I sat down with Thurston Hall resident advisor Julia Weiss. We discussed everything that comes with being a freshman Hall RA. Check it out. Hello and welcome. We are with our exclusive interview with a Thurston RA. She's on the first floor. Her name is Julia Weiss, and she is a junior English major with a business minor. So the first question I would like to ask you is, how do you become an RA, and why did you become an RA specifically? It's like, what's the timeline, and how did it all come about?
It's a good question. I've heard that before.
Okay.
The RA process starts in November. We have posters that go up in all the residence halls online. They're emailed out. There are some info sessions you can go to learn from existing RAs and from the CSE about how to become one. And then there's a written application process. You have to write, I think, 4 to 5 250-word essays a piece. And that's where you reveal, like, A, what a good writer you are, and B, what about your personality makes you suited to being an RA. So we usually get between, I would say, 300 to 600 written applications. So it's a big group, and then the CSE reviews and picks about 150 to maybe 200 to participate in the interview process. Interviews take place in usually January or February. They are conducted by the CSE and by existing RAs. There's a couple components. There's a couple group interview processes, and then there's an individual interview. After that, there's about a month waiting time, which is pretty much the most stressful month of anyone's life, and then you're contacted with whether or not you get the position. I chose to become an RA primarily because I was really inspired by my own RA freshman year. Her name was Pam, and she's now graduated and, like, on to bigger and better things, but she was awesome. She was such a key component of my freshman year, and I thought that I wanted to do the same specifically for freshmen. I'm a freshman RA now, was one last year, and if I reapply, I would like to be the same. I think it's such a real and tangible way to make a difference on campus, because you're interacting with people on their home turf. You see things that the professors don't see, that even the parents don't see. I wanted to become an RA because I thought I had something to offer in that arena, and it's been really rewarding, I hope, for my residents, but definitely for me.
So you have 2 years experience as an RA. You're going to have that by the end of the school year. So I would like to ask you, what room and residence hall were you at last year?
I was in Mitchell on the 4th floor.
So can you tell me and elaborate on the differences between being an RA in Mitchell and being an RA in Thurston, and specifically how being an RA on the first floor is different than the other floors, and which kind of room setup in Thurston's like usually the most difficult and accident prone?
Mitchell was a really, really interesting experience. As everyone knows, there's communal bathrooms in Mitchell and everyone's living in singles. And I was an RA in Mitchell during the first year that they put all freshmen in that configuration. So I went in thinking that it was going to suck. I went in thinking people were going to hate their rooms, they weren't going to make any friends, and I was going to deal with a lot of mental health situations, because those inevitably come up when you're kind of boxed in on your own. And of course I knew the communal bathroom would be horrible, and it was. But I was so surprised to find out that Mitchell was pretty much the ideal freshman location, because for people who came in really nervous about having roommates, they still got to have their own space and actually were incentivized to make friends with everyone on the floor. My floor kind of developed a 30-person friend group, and they've stuck to that today and are all still living together in different buildings around campus. Since my room was located right across from the elevators, the 2 communal bathrooms, and the communal kitchen, I had a lot of contact with them, and I like to think that maybe if I'm not a part of that friend group, I was at least like an active observer of that friend group. I loved it, they loved it. If I had gotten Mitchell again, I would have been completely happy with that. It's a really, really wonderful freshman space. And as you can tell right now, there's no room swaps available in Mitchell. No one wants to leave, even though it's all freshmen again. Thurston is very different. We know a lot more about Thurston, and there are a lot more stereotypes about Thurston. So I was a little nervous to get that assignment, though the nervousness definitely lessened when I found out that I had the first floor, because the first floor is a very different beast than the rest of the building. The stereotypes this year are very true on the 4th floor. They're very true on the 6th floor. The terminology that I hear is that the 4th floor is like lit as fuck. But on the 1st floor, residents are pretty cognizant of the fact that UPD is on the other side of the floor. Random people are coming in to use the service elevator. RAC lives on the floor, I live on the floor, the RD lives on the floor. So there's an incentive to be quiet, and there's an incentive to kind of keep the space nice and homey, and that's the advice that I gave to them was, you're living with all these professionals on your floor, UPD is in really close proximity to us. It might be best for you and for me if we all just kind of kept it cool. The advice that I gave them during our floor meeting was, don't shit where you eat. You have beautiful rooms, this is a beautiful space, there are extreme penalties if you're caught, so let's just go party somewhere else and keep it nice here.
All right, so now that is a perfect segue to weird situations.
I'm going to yell at you. Well, not yell at you. I'm going to bring it up. And then you're going to have to tell me how you would respond to the situation. Julia! I'm 8 shots in, and, like, I can't, like, talk to you right now. Like, I don't feel so good. Would you help me, please?
Okay.
What would you do to that?
So, I'm really sorry you're feeling that way. I appreciate that you've come to tell me, because I know this. You're probably not feeling comfortable right now. Yep, okay, that's where it's going. Okay, I'm gonna ask you to take a little trip to the bathroom, and then would you be okay to come back?
What if I don't make it out?
If you don't make it out, if I don't see you in 5 minutes, I'll come get you.
Okay.
How about that?
You're gonna emerge me, are you?
We'll cross that bridge in 5 minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
Julia, smoking a joint. Fire alarm's going off right now. It's just like, I don't know how to turn it off. Can you help me turn off the fire alarm? It's just killing the vibe that I had going.
All right, so let's take a walk back to your room.
Okay.
I'll walk you through how to get the fire alarm turned off, because I think that's really annoying. But I think we have to have a little conversation after that.
Knocking on your door, right? Yeah! He's a piece of shit! Ah, John, he everywhere, like literally on the floor, like god damn it, he's such a like I can't deal with it. Ah, he's such a douche, he's such a god. Jay, wait, answer the door, I need to talk to you.
I'm here.
So, how do you handle it? Deal with this.
If he goes down an offensive path, like if I start hearing things that are offensive to me, maybe I put a stop to it, but I can take cursing.
Okay.
I hear cursing all the time.
Okay, so that's like a normal
Oh yeah.
day
In Thurston.
Yeah. Beautiful. I think that's our time for us. Thank you so much for joining with us. Man, I got really sweaty. It's because I got really into it.
No, I know you were.
Thank you so much for taking the time with us. And that's it. Back to you, Devon.
You could say it's been real. We'll be right back. Thanks for sticking with us. As many of you probably don't know, because why would you? West Hall on the Mount Vernon campus suffered a short power outage last Tuesday. The dining hall and gym on the campus were effectively shut down, with employees standing in front of Pelham Commons telling students that there was no food in sight. One of our writers, Savannah Pearson, experienced this traumatic event firsthand.
It's hour 10 of the West Hall blackout. This is our room, if you can't tell. Our guacamole is completely melted at this point. And we can't make our lean cuisine because the microwave is also not working. Neither is our Keurig. As you can see, it's dead. There's no food in the dining hall. I've been told human beings go blind after 3 days in darkness. So we're just waiting for that day. If you look through the peephole, you see nothing. Only darkness.
My heart goes to you, Savannah. Stay strong. Speaking of college campuses and things going awry, there have been groups of clowns tormenting people across the country. Some are considered threats, wielding weapons, and others are just creepy. But no matter what, it is terrifying, because nothing is worse than a clown gun or not? Correspondent Callan Devery decided to ask GW students how they felt about Clown Ghazi. Check it out.
Hey Devon, it's Callan. I'm here at Kogan Plaza asking students what they think of the clown crisis sweeping America. I think we'll get some good answers. What do you think about the current clown crisis that's been happening on college campuses all over the United States?
I mean, I don't really care. I don't really have like any feelings toward it. I mean, it's just a clown.
What are your thoughts on the clown crisis that's been happening all over college campuses in the United States?
I don't know. I'm not really that worried about it. It doesn't seem like a big deal.
What are your thoughts on this clown epidemic that has been sweeping college campuses in the United States?
You know, I don't really care. I've got a lot of other things to worry about, like my homework and the debate. Not a big deal to me.
What are your thoughts on the clown crisis that's sweeping American colleges?
I don't really care. I have more important things to do.
They don't scare you, these anonymous clowns?
Not really, you know. I've got my feet. I can pick them.
Great! They don't like scare you, that they have knives or anything like that?
It's not that scary. It's fine.
Okay. You don't care that they have knives or weapons and are attacking students? But like, clowns are terrifying, are they not?
Not really. I mean, I don't really care about clowns that much.
Well, that wasn't so much disturbing as just frankly strange. Anywho, now is a segment we like to call 1. Waiting in line at Whole Foods on a Sunday night. 2. Catching the Thurston Plague. 3. Riding the Vex standing up. 4. Riding the Vex sitting down. 5. Riding the Vex in general. 6. Getting to the Chipotle that takes G-World. 7. Getting Fix-It to fix literally anything. 8. Surviving the West Hall power outage. 9. Getting the guy at Whole Foods to spell your name right on a kick. We can go on. Voting's easy. You should do it. So please go out and vote. That's it for me. I'm Devon Morales. I'll see you next time. Stay woke.